guys, it's Maddie, and today I'll be doing a review on Seize Today by Pintip Dunn. So this is the third book in the Forget Tomorrow series, so if you have not read this series yet, or if you have not started the second book yet, I recommend not to watch this review since it may contain spoilers for this series. But if you have read the first and second book and you're interested in continuing on, then keep on watching. So this book follows another character's perspective, which is Olivia, who is the chairwoman's daughter, and Ryder, who is a member of the underground, gets captured and receives a memory of him killing Olivia. But Olivia helps him escape and also helps him make it back to his family. But of course, a lot of more crazy stuff goes on from there. I really loved the course of events that happened throughout this book. This plot was non-stop, just intense and so unpredictable. I think this series is really famous, at least to me, for its use of plot twists, because I swear this whole series has so many plot twists in it, and this book had a lot that just left me so surprised and really took me off guard because I didn't really see any of these plot twists coming. I felt at some points the flow of the plot was a little off, especially there was one transition between chapters that didn't really make sense to me, but what I liked is that the book really came back from that and got back on track, so it didn't bother me too much. This book is told in Olivia's perspective, which I loved. I loved getting to know her character more. She's the most relatable character in this series for me. She sees herself as a shadow and someone kind of unimportant, and she sees herself also as a burden to others, but she really finds her voice as she helps Ryder. And I found her so incredibly sweet in this book, which I didn't at first in the other books, so I really liked how this book really showcased her sweet side and how she's really the total opposite from her mother, who is a total psychopath and just pure evil. It was really nice to see her character as the main focus in this book, especially because I just really loved her personality. A quirky little character trait she has is that she will not say the last word in her sentence. Like, she'll drop off the last word in her sentence, and it's just kind of a quirky habit of hers. And what she'll also do is the last word in her sentence, when she does say it, she'll say it super loud. That's something I've never heard a character do before, and it was a really quirky trait of hers that I loved, and I think that just came from her, I guess you would say, kind of social anxiety was the reason she did that. She just always felt anxious all the time, which I sadly relate to because I have social anxiety, so she was a very relatable character for me. I also loved Ryder. I loved him in the first two books. In the first book, he was just a little kid, so to see him grow up from there was just so awesome. He is so sweet. All of the boys in this book series are really sweet, and Ryder's is no exception. I really loved him. Loved how we found out more about his character in this book. Come to find out that he's actually really insecure, and he has a problem trusting others because of stuff that happened in his past that led him not to trust others very easily. So we got to know a lot more of his kind of personality and his trust issues. But the way he treats Olivia with so much respect is just so heartwarming, and I'll get to that a little later on in the romance section of this. But I really loved how he treated her and how he found it in his heart to trust her, not just once, but twice, even though she could be very untrustworthy towards him. And we also get to see the whole cast of characters in this series, which I loved. I loved seeing Callie again, and you really got to see her get even stronger after her coma and how she's grown from that, and she's just so much more of a stronger character, which I love. As soon as I heard there would be a romance between Ryder and Olivia, I was so on board. I knew these characters would just work so well together, and they did. I loved seeing them together. As I mentioned, Ryder is just so sweet towards Olivia and trustworthy, and even though she, throughout this course of this book, let him down a few times, he was always just so trustworthy to her when he's just such a person who finds it hard to trust others. I love that. And through this book, Olivia is kind of afraid to be with Ryder since she knows he's going to kill her in a few days, but at the same time, she just can't stay away from him. I do have to say the build-up to the romance wasn't as good as I would have expected it to be, and I wish it could have been developed a little more, but it wasn't a huge deal because in the end I just really ended up loving these two characters together, even though the development of the romance wasn't on par with what I wish it could have been. I love the writing in this book, as well as the other books. I just love Pintip Dunn's writing, and I can't wait to read more books from her. I know she has more books out that I really need to get to. And overall, this was a fantastic conclusion to this series, and it left me so emotional, especially the epilogue. Oh my gosh, the epilogue just had me in tears. It was so great, and I'm really satisfied with the ending of this, though I do have to say I think a lot more things could have been built up from this. And I know this is the last book in this series, but I could just see this series going in other direction. And I could see like a spin-off series of this series. So I don't know if we'll ever get that, but I really love that because I think this series has so much potential to go on even further. And I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. And I'm sad that it's over, but it was a great series that I can see myself rereading over and over again because I don't think I'll ever get tired of it because I've already read the first 2 books and I still love them. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos, and